Right, so um, someone on a forum was asking how to find the distance between 2 points, and um, they were talking about someone suggested using a tag and pointing a laser scope at it. Like that. But the thing is, and then getting the distance from that, but if you look at what that gives you, it don't get you nothing, because it hasn't actually hit a sculpt. It has to hit a sculpt to give you pretty much any output. So if that was around the tag, then this would give you the distance. And if we make that huge, and that's giving you the distance just fine, but it has to hit the actual sculpt. So the other way is to do it using maths. So this is by Mr. Ublek, who has put out a load of different logics, helping the community out. Very good. So he used a similar idea of using the fat wire into a calculator to get the difference in position, and then he's got this maths stuff to figure out the magnitude of that vector. So if we had this on here, just so we can show an example, like that, and like that, like that. So, and that works. Does that work for? Oh, it assumes it's a 3-part thing. Okay. So we'll make that a 3. So we've got some value. Oh, we don't really want that. We want just that. So then we get the vector magnitude, which is some other value, which is the distance between 0 and whatever this position is. So like changing these values changes that. It's kind of, if it was a 2D thing, it would be, you've got a point of the origin over there. Let's draw a diagram. Let's make a wall. Okay, so so you had a point over here, then you have a line. Oh, so the vector is like from the 0, some other position using an x and a y, and then the magnitude is how far away that position is from 0, like that. And it's a similar thing for 3D, but it's just like 3D. It's finding the distance between 0 and some value. So you do that subtraction thing, then you find the magnitude, which is that distance, using some maths. However, so this is saying 0.7, but there's another way of getting the magnitude of a vector by doing that. And it's exactly the same. It's exactly the same values, because fat wires have like a default value coming out of it. So you might have noticed earlier on when I had a calculator to see if it was greater, if the stick output was greater than some value. This isn't giving us 3 values in here, it's giving us 0.67. That is because the fat wire has like a default primary value it gives for stuff like this, for displaying and whatnot, so it doesn't just cripple the whole system or something. And for 3 vector things with 3 or 2, or I don't know about those, maybe it will work for those as well. It gives the magnitude of that vector. So then you can just delete that whole thing and end up with this, where it's just, you just subtract them and spit it out, and it gives the exact same answer. For like 10 fewer gadgets and stuff. I haven't actually published this. This was just I just remixed the one by Mr. Ublek and then published it unlisted, so that if you didn't know about the unlisting stuff, if you publish something publicly but make it unlisted, no one can find it in searches or on your page. But if someone gets sent a link to it in Dreams, then they can click on it and see it as normal. But that includes if you have remixed their thing, or you've used their thing in your unlisted scene or whatever, then they get a notification saying that someone's used their creation in your scene. Which is why sometimes when you publish something and just leave it unlisted, you get people leaving likes and comments on it and you thought it was completely hidden. But that's because they get a notification about it. So in this case, I just remixed their thing, Mr. Ublek's thing, and they got a notification about this being published, but no one else will be able to see it at all. So they can kind of just go in and see how I did it a different way.